Hello, good morning. Welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Lauren.
And I'm Ian.
And this is our weekend workout where all you need is your body weight and a little bit of space. And we'll practice the basics like our wrist warm up, moving on to some core and some crawls. And we'll always throw in those single leg or two-legged squat activities. Join us as we progress our skills. Let's get started with a warm up.
We'll start right on the floor, but starting with the ankles to get there. As Lauren mentioned, it's those ankles and those squats, so that encourages those knees to go over the toes. Push the hips forward, cramping the glutes and rooting the toes. Repeating again on 2 knees and 2 feet here. Push the knees towards over the toes and then press the hips over the knees to straighten. Now pull a heel off the floor, getting the ball of the foot, and now just do a single leg variation of the same. Knee over toe and push that hip through, fully extending the hip. Let's do a rise to find a quick balance here. Down on the other side, and same thing. Soften that ankle, keep our tailbone tipped like a cow as we then press the hip through, find our balance rise, and repeat that once more on each side. We land with a straight leg and it blends into the knee bend next, and then push through for power, power up for balance, and one more time on the other side, bending the knee. Now let's stay the same height and lift that heel off the floor and hold for a couple seconds while we're here, and then push all the way through to the top and reset flat feet to the ground. And then on 2 feet, go knees over toes, then allow the heels to come up just a little bit to help us get lower. And with control, knees to the floor, hips extend through, and time for the wrist warm up on the ground. Pushing our hips back like a hinge, aiming to keep our tailbone in that cow or anterior tip shape. Open the fingers and root, fingertips heavy, callus lines heavy as well. At the neck, extension looking forward, and then flexion looking between the hands. Repeat again, extension, and then comfortably look between the hands in a neutral neck. Press through the callus line. Ooh, a little cracky this morning on that. And then right back down. Ooh, nice. I like modifying that position to that modified plank position or modified push-up to increase that challenge, but making sure that we can keep the elbows straight for 1 or 2 more. And then if you did step back in that plank, step the knees back towards hands and then push away and a little bit of a shake there. Let's do a 180 at those hands and turn the fingertips towards knees and repeat the same thing. Fingers, calluses, and hands. Shrug the shoulders up. That's a useful place for our handstand, but right now, pull them back down towards the hips. If you press through your fingers, you might drift forward. If you pushed heavier in the palms or the heels of the hand, you might drift backwards. Repeat that once or twice more, and just feel that weight transfer of pushing one way and going the other. One more time, pressing through the fingers to lean forward, and then allow the elbows to bend. And this time, as we press back, can we sit on our heels with bent knees? Can you squeeze one bum cheek? Bounce, bounce, bounce. Can you squeeze the other cheek? Bounce, bounce, bounce. Then if you squeeze both butt cheeks, could you then again extend all the way through? One more movement for me here, practicing that hollow body hold that Lauren might explore as part of the core. So with the glutes extended or hips forward, keep the rib cage down, and take the arms towards this racks position. Shrug up, but for right now, pull down, and keeping the rib cage over those hips, how do your arms and shoulders feel overhead? Pull the rib cage down, and as allowed in our handstand, let's elevate or shrug the shoulders. Then pull the armpits down and just groove a nice pulling pattern back to this racks position. And repeat one more time. Pull the armpits down to go towards up, engaging those lats, but as conditions for our handstand, elevate or shrug the shoulders and reach, reach. But for right now, let's pull them back down and groove. We don't do too many chin-ups on screen. We do like our chin-ups off the screen rather, and we pack those shoulders and groove. A little bit of wrists, check in. To Lauren now.
All right, we'll warm up those hips in a little bit of a crawl position. So we're going to explore our Spider-Man for today's hip warm up. Our hands will land down We'll lift our hips up into our plank and just hold that for a couple seconds, trying to create some core tension right away. That means we're trying to squeeze our cheeks, butt cheeks, pull the floor together underneath of us, and create that shield of abs. Next, we'll take our right or left foot and place it beside the same hand. Here, we're reaching energy through that front knee and that back heel, lightly splitting ourselves in half. Then pull that energy back into center, keeping the hips up. We'll try to lift that front leg and place it back where we got it. Repeat on the other side. Other leg reaches up, reaching away from center, and then pulling that tension back in, lifting the front foot, placing it back. First side again, foot comes up. This time we'll add on. We'll first let the femur rotate open in the socket, but keep the foot heavy on the floor for now. Then we'll place the back knee down. We'll keep that back hip extended, so the back cheek squeezes. We're trying to avoid dumping through our low back, and we'll gently try to bend that knee, getting the heel towards the butt. With that heel close to the butt and that hamstring just a singing, and our hip extension working hard, we'll tuck the back toe. We'll lift the back knee. We'll take the front foot and put it back and repeat on the other side. Front foot comes up. Hold. Open up at the femur, but keep the foot heavy. Then bring it back. Put the knee down, back knee. Bend the back knee, heel towards butt. Squeezing, extending the hip, keeping light core so we're not arching our back for 3, 2, back toes tuck. We're going to leave that front leg there, but bring our back foot up to come into our low squat position. As safely low as you can be with your chest slightly lifted, so we're not down towards the floor here. We'll drive our elbows into our knees, gently opening up again. And then let's take those elbows away and try to do that with its own power. Try to drive that femur open and back, and drive that femur open. And then push down and away, and we'll press up to tall. Give those hips a little shake and wiggle. See how they're feeling after the Spider-Man.
Ooh. Hips feel good. And again, how do the wrists feel? Making sure the endurance is building on them, not torturing them. Move away, Lauren. Back up just that little bit. Move away. And we'll work on just some nice little squat walks here today, but starting with straight legs first. Take a straight leg to the diagonal, land toe ball heel, and a straight leg to follow, assembling the feet together in a V. Same thing to the other side, a straight leg reaching toe ball heel, and pull the legs together. Reach a straight leg again, toe ball heel, but now allow that knee to bend. Keep the back leg straight as we stand up nice and tall. Repeat, a straight leg leads, then we blend in that knee bend and pull a straight leg to tall. Adding on straight leg, toe ball heel. Bend the back knee, assembling together and standing tall. One more time like that, toe ball heel. Bend the front knee, stay low, bend the back knee, and then assemble tall. Final one, this time we're gonna bend on that standing leg and then pull ourselves so that the front leg bends, and then pull the back leg that it bends and stay the same height and reach on the diagonal, feel the pull, push, heels together, hips forward, finish tall, and shake it out. Working on those spaces around the body, and let's get back down to the floor to work on the core.
Excellent. Let's get to the floor, do a little hollow hold, and then we're going to flip over and do another core fun activity. So it's just going to bunch of fun. Let's get there via our forward fold. So gently pulling those shoulder blades together, tucking the chin, flexing through the C-spine or the neck, upper back. Then flexing through the rib cage. As you do that, try to keep those shoulder blades together. Zipping that belly button in, flexing over top of our hips. Try to keep your weight forward in your forefeet so that our hips stay extended as we fold over them. And then we'll walk ourselves out however you'd like. And we'll just end up actually on our back to start. I'd like to do our hollow hold in preparation for our handstand, and then more fun. Let's lie down. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor, palms up at your side. As usual, we have that normal spine, so we have a little bit of a curve through our low back, and that little mouse lives back there. He's going to stay there the whole time. To keep to keep our core tension, we're going to bring our ribs to our hips. So think about lifting up towards the ceiling, engaging or starting that movement with our abs, not with our head neck. Your neck is going to work here a little bit, but try to put the emphasis on the core. With this, we could lift both feet off the floor. We could extend one leg away from center and then the other, or we could keep both legs out nice and long. Toes are pointed, legs are tight together, palms are face up. Next, if you want an additional challenge, we could take both legs towards our head. Right here, we're in our handstand position, so check out, are your toes pointed? Are your knees straight? Are your legs tight together? Are you quivering underneath? For 3, 2, everything comes back to center, and then gently rests on the floor. We'll sit ourselves up however you like, and we'll stay in this great position we're already in and explore our crab. So I like to do my fingertips slightly facing backwards or maybe slightly to the side. They may adjust throughout this practice here. We're first going to hover our butt off the floor. Next, we're going to scoop and lift our hips up into our tabletop position here. We're pushing the floor away. We're lifting, we're squeezing, we're bracing. Next, we're going to bring the hips back towards the floor, and we are going to try to sit back into our L sit. So hips will come between hands. We'll point our legs. We'll try to lift them, or we'll pretend, and then we'll place the feet down and lift back up into that tabletop. Let's do this exercise 2 more times. Hips come underneath us. They're going to start to reach behind. We're going to wish for lighter legs and longer arms for 3, 2, and 1 more time. But we'll still try despite
Can't believe I asked for this exercise.
our proportions. 1 more time. I know, this was Ian's request, so you can send him all your fan mail. Lift and hold. 1 more time, let's end in that tabletop.
You said 3, not 4.
I know, but we have to end somewhere.
Okay.
And then land softly on the floor. Let's do a little fancy flip, which means whatever you want it to mean, and stand up via your forward fold. So walk your hands back, gently try to straighten your legs, tuck your chin, pull your shoulder blades together, and stack yourself up. Really try to engage your core on the front and the back of your spine as you come up head last to land.
Good patience, Lauren. Go slower.
Or just whip up.
Go slower. Go slower because it's harder. Well, we're standing. What do you think it is time for here?
Squats?
Squats. Sounds good to me. Let's work on those weight transfer squats again. This time more on that inspiration from the Chico style squat. Open up to a wider stance for you. Pull yourself down. And as you stand up, straight legs together in that V stance. Then pull up to the ankle and point a leg and point those toes to sit and stand straight legs. Continue that same repetition, or this time find a single leg base of support as you stand, and then point and land in your same squats position and repeat single leg on the other side. The point, the land, the power to the knee, find your balance, and then point. Even though that rep wasn't as graceful, it was still a lot of work for the core to make sure we don't fall over. Then point and land, and for the final one, find the knee, balance, find the straight leg hold, play with some shapes out there, and then 1 more time on the other side, find the work that's appropriate for you. A light outrigger on the bar could help, but don't rely on it. Woo. Find your squat, 1 more time, power up, and then we can shake and wiggle and reset.
Excellent. Let's get those legs lifted into the air a little bit before we get into our kick up. So 1 more crawl. We'll get out to our plank and we'll lift up into that 3-point position, but I might throw a 2-and-run crawl at you, so prepare yourself. Hip hinge. Walk yourself first into your plank. Hold for 3, 2. Now lift a leg up towards the ceiling. We're in that 3-point A-frame shape. Let's keep our hips square to the floor. Reach the leg high for 3, 2. Pull yourself back through to a plank. Hold. 3, 2. Other leg. Lift. Reach. Stay square. Pull yourself back to plank. 3, 2. 1 more time each side. Flicking the floor away like you will for your kick-ups. Pushing. Lift through. plank through. One last time. Think about pushing the floor down. You have nice straight elbows. Your shoulders are elevated. Your hips are square. Pause in your plank. Here, if I came through the screen and lifted up your feet, you'd be tightened into a handstand. Keep your hands on the floor. Walk your feet to your hands. We're going to do this one more time, so don't stand up. Get as close as you can. Then one more time, peel your hands off the floor. Good practice for a handstand, pushing the floor away. Plank, hold. 3, 2, walk your feet to your hands as close as you can get. Once you're there, pause for a second. Lift the label of the back of your pants up to the ceiling even more. See if you can walk your feet a millimeter closer. Oh, lift the label up. Then press through the hands, tuck your chin, and slowly stack yourself back up to tall. Well, that was a warm-up.
That was more than a warm-up, but I do feel warmed up for sure. Let's take a little bit of break off those hands. Interval those upper and lower body movements for variation as much as checking in with the rest. So back to our V stance here. In our V stance for that first position, let's do our narrow stance squat. Knees towards over toes. Push the hips through. Repeat that repetition or adding on, knees towards over toes. Take a single leg to the front and then open it to the side. I'm going to press my hip towards Lauren to stand tall with the emphasis to lean just a little bit the other way. Then do a knee bend over toe, take it to the front and finish tall. Same thing, but let's go backwards. So we're down onto 2 feet. Take a single leg and reach it to the back and then open from the back to the side. Same thing, pressing the hip over that standing leg foot. And then one more time, knee bend over toe, reach it back, and finish pulling the heel forward. Same thing other side, once to the front and once to the back. Knees over toes to the front, then open to the side. Push the hip over the standing leg with a little bit of a lean the other way. Then a knee bend to the front, hips forward, leg back. Knees bend both at the same time. Transfer to that standing leg. Again, we could use that weight balance implement to the side. Then take the leg to the side. Stretch that hip, pulling up the quads, bending on the ankle, taking the leg to the back, and then finishing heels forward. Squats. Nice variation there.
All right, well, I think the time has come to do some kick-ups today.
Nice.
And as usual, we'll start with that tripod entry in our I go, you go fashion. That means Team Ian is setting up first. We'll give each other a little break off of our wrist. Right now, your hands are on the floor. Remember, start with baby air. We say this so much, one of our clients was mocking us. But it's important to get just a little bit off the floor to start. And then as you progress, you can get a little bit higher. You saw Ian switch his legs, as you should too. Practice taking off of both legs, even though you have a favorite. And always come back safely.
Come back safe. It reinforces that it's still fun and reinforces that pattern of just enough weight. Right away there in a great way, Lauren switched that little scissor switch, switching a takeoff and landing leg. Play with your variations. It's a specialized variations as we go, but this is a great version of our handstand kick-up. It's Lauren's favorite. My favorite version of the kick-up is the step in.
Are you doing that right now? Oh, okay. Okay. The step in entry. So that's arms overhead. Think of that hollow position we practiced earlier on. We'll step up and over a mini fence as we get towards that upside down position. Again, our arms are straight. We're pushing the floor away. If you're a little bit nervous about going all the way over, keep that leading leg back behind you. That L-shaped leg will always bring you back down to where you started. As well in our kick up, think about pushing the floor away to always come back up to tall. Adding that scissor kick if you want to get fancy and alternate legs.
So I do feel I can go a little bit more oomph, but slowly find that right amount that when you give it, you end up in that beautiful upside down line, like that one. Keeping those legs straight and those toes pointed. As you can see there, Lauren's going into the handstand in the elevated or shrugged shoulder. Provide that stability by crushing that tension down so that you can grow up nice and tall, just like that.
I normally don't like that step in as much, but today.
Rocking with it.
Whew.
Awesome. We'll be coming back to those handstands. Let's continue with that squat exploration. Same pattern, front and then to the back, but this time off the floor if that's available for you. So it's knees towards over toes and a single leg to the front. Reach so far front that that leg goes up and over to the side and press the hip standing tall. Repeating to the side, reaching wide and reach so wide that you have nowhere to go but up and over to the front and then stand. And return to 2-foot squat, return it to the back. Make sure you're lifting with the butt cheek and not with the back as we circle that leg to the side and then stand tall. And one more time, reach wide, turn in or turn out on that hip. That's up to you a little bit here and back together. And repeating other side. So it's 2 knees bend, single leg forward, maintain the turnout on this side so you can always see that inseam and finish tall. Now it's a single leg squat to the side and reach long and wide with toe points to the front and then heels together. Back to a 2-foot squat. When we go from the back to the front, that's where we would like, that turned out shape, down and stretch. But going from the side to the back, both are right. You might turn in on that hip, but no matter what, finish with that ankle forward. Shake.
All right.
Freestanding.
Freestanding is what we're going for.
Fun, freestanding fun.
So in this next little activity, let's give us a couple options depending on what you're practicing. 1, you could be practicing some crawls for time on those wrists. 2, you could be practicing the kick-ups as we just did in that last little set. 3, you could be going for some hang time, which is what we're going to be trying here. Our first interval work we will aim for, and we all know progress isn't linear, is about a
oh my goodness. Okay,
5.
I'm in.
5.
You name it.
5 Mississippis, plus or minus 1. Second hold in our handstand. We'll do the I go, you go pattern. Ian's turn first. So you are doing your activity right now for about 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippis, 6 Mississippis. Good. Now, there's a lot of pressure when somebody counts Mississippis when you're upside down. So maybe do this one in your head.
You know what's better than Mississippis? Bars and bells.
Oh.
1 bars and bells.
I was going to say
2 bars and bells.
ice cream sundaes.
Ooh.
Girl Guide cookies.
There's a lot, not to disparage against any Mississippians in the audience here. Okay, so we're aiming for 5 seconds upside down. Taking your time, finding that just right effort to get there, and breathe. And again, slowly, Lauren might take that trail leg and bring it up as a left.
4 or 5.
There you go. There we go. And let's do that again before we do another variation on that squat. So shake it out.
So
set that intention.
another 5 seconds, however you'd like to count that, or so.
Switch my leg.
Sometimes in the early handstand practice, those seconds are more like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's okay. As long as you keep practicing and you keep working on that endurance and you stay consistent, it's all good. Nice.
Woo. Nice. I did a little video replay from last week, and I was in slightly of that hollow banana shape. So I was really focusing right there on extending that T-spine or pushing my heart, chest through the gateway of my arms. I know that might not sound exactly right, but that's really nice. I'm here, Lauren. You don't need me here, but I'm here. There we go. No problem. No problem.
I'm good.
Of course. You're not good. You're great. Just like
4
that.
Mississippis, 5 Mississippis.
And down. And shake. Work on small sets with high frequency in your own practice. We only have a couple more minutes here to go, but rather than one blowout set where your wrists might be fatigued, accumulate that volume by taking little snacks of handstand strength skills time. Little snacks versus massive meals that we just need a little bit more time to recover from. One more time in our weight transfer squats here. Let's open up to our wider stance this time and pull ourselves to one side. Here we are. Then, could you lift that leg out at the side without lifting the hip? Then, pull yourself across and do the same thing then on the other side. That's to lift a single leg. Now grab the floor with that and pull, but we're staying on about the same level here as you go across. Lift the leg and then stretch, standing nice and tall, turned out. Then our knee bend, grab the floor, feel a pull, complement it with a push and a stretch of that standing leg again. Then a knee bend and a pull and a push, followed by a stretch, and then maybe that toe balance, demi-rise, releve, or really simple but not easy movement on the balls of feet. And then a knee bend, really well done with Lauren, and then pull and push and stretch and look straight ahead or at something else to make it a little harder. Ooh. And then a land with a straight leg, do our knee bend. Just pull yourself to the middle, personalize that, maybe get your boogie on, but no matter what, push those hips
Your
through.
boogie or your booty.
Your booty. Okay.
All right, another round of
10 seconds.
10 seconds. So get those t-shirts tucked in and get ready for 10 ice cream sundaes in a row.
Let's do it.
When you're ready, we'll put approximately 10 seconds on the clock. And don't you worry, you can do plus or minus as your skills progress here. If you're in the crawling time, maybe you're doing that plank and holding. Maybe you're crawling around like an elephant. 3, 2, that was 10 seconds. Real seconds on an old school analog electric clock.
Woo. Taking your time to let that blood reassemble in its very
I'm gonna try to
valuable
step in.
places.
It was proving a little better today.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So taking your time to get up and holding and looking at that clock and breathing. And I'm just going to say it's only been 1 second, so you can keep going there. Can you keep going? Of course, Lauren can. It's Lauren after all. And rest. That was like 20 seconds right
Oh.
there, by the way. Nice.
A lot.
Solid effort.
A lot of ice cream.
One more like that.
One more like that. So
Lauren's favorite's mint chip Baskin Robbins if you want to sponsor her.
it's very true. With a side of cookies and cream. 3, 2, 10 to 20 seconds here. I know we said 10 and now we're up to 20, so you know how it is. I'll drop.
Practice, safe, everything.
Exits.
That wasn't very good. Here we go.
10 more seconds. So if you were practicing with Ian there, that's already been 15. We're almost up to 20 seconds here on the real clock. That was 20 seconds. If you want to keep holding like he is, you can. If you want to take a break off those wrists, please feel free.
Take a break. And rest. And check in with your training partner or us and checking in on Lauren. We can still even see on those reps that weren't quite to Lauren's standard, she'll still press through the floor, accepting the floor as we get into the handstand, pointing the toes while we're here, and just keep going. I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to see who can talk longer or who can handstand longer. My money's on Lauren because I'm kind of running out of words to talk about how awesome Lauren's handstand was. That was really well done.
I'm
Nice.
getting distracted by the words.
Whew. Shake it out. My legs have said, whoa, dude, that's a lot of work. So have my wrists. So just for a little bit of something different here, let's get down to the floor using that toe squat, taking your time. Anyhow you want to get down to the ground.
Mixed toe squat.
Anyhow you want to get down. Nice. And what do you think we should do from down here?
Surprise me.
Ooh.
The splits? I don't know. What were you going to do?
Oh, we're going to do some L-sits.
Oh,
Aren't we?
yes. Some L-sits. Okay, let's do some variations on this to finish up. Oh, did you have ideas?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Okay. So my variation on that L-sit is sitting in our tall Joseph Pilates inspired position here. I would recommend pointing that toe, but any foot position is good. Take a breath in and lift up that leg. And I can't get it parallel with my other quad, but I'm sure trying.
3, 2, 1.
And then I'm returning it to the floor with control. Making sure that we're sitting on those sit bones or that anterior tip of the hips is allowed. Nice tall spine. Take a breath in. And again, same thing. These leg lifts here, that compression strength aims to show up on those squat variations we did, our skin the cats, and every other bodyweight core movement. Let's do it one more time. Nice and tall. Hip flexion for strength of the back, making sure we're not rounding the spine and we're clearly shaking down. Maybe we'll shake and wiggle and repeat on the other side. I think this leg's a little higher for me. We probably have one that's a little bit more of a strong gesture leg, but here we go. Take our breath. Lift it up, keep pushing the heart forward so you remain in extension, and then return to the floor with control. Nice and tall again. Hug that knee for support and breathe. And lift. And with control, return. And our final time here, pull that hip or femur into the hip socket, point the toes, keep the knee nice and straight, return to the ground, and shakes
And
out.
Ian might have said final
wiggles.
time, but he was joking. Because we're going to finish with one more. We're going to take it all the way back to the first L-sit we did today. And whether it's imaginary or it's real, let's lift those hips up off the floor, pull them through, and for 5, 4, imagine lifting them, 3, 2, 1. Oh. Good job.
Feel that one, I think.
And those quads. Woo. Well, thanks for joining us this morning on our weekend workout. We hope you feel ready to go and enjoy the day with some little extra energy in your back pocket. Check out our website, check our Patreon page, like and subscribe on YouTube.
Please do.
And join us next week in week 6 of classes, where we start the week with our kettlebell, progress towards our bell, and ultimately end with our body weight. Until next time.
We will, as always, take care, encourage you to stay strong, and let's train soon.
Goodbye.
Have a good day. Is that me?